G'day collectors, Rob here for episode 6 of Aussie Diecast Reviews. Hope you're all doing well and I hope you're enjoying the show. So first off the mark, I'd like to thank the people that have subscribed to the channel. I've hit the big 3-0, so yeah, I'm very happy with that. So yeah, thanks for watching. I thought I'd never get 30. I thought I'd always just get at least 5 or 10 people, but I know it's not much, but yeah, no, thanks for watching. So, for episode 6, I think we'll stay in the 1970s era of Australian motorsport. Like I said, a lot of cool looking cars and a lot of great drivers. Plus this car here that I'm going to review today is my all-time favourite Holden car. So let's get stuck into it and I'll kick it off and I'll be reviewing this car here. Sweet. Okay, today we have a Biante and Autoart model car. It is a 118 Holden LX A9X Tarana. The team is Rod Hodgson Racing and the driver is Bobby Morris. This car is based off the 1979 Australian Touring Car Championship winner. So it won the Australian Touring Car Championship for 1979 that year. So it's a part of the Australian Touring Car Championship winners collection. So just quickly for the people out there that know about Bob Morris. Bob Morris was one of the many leading Australian Touring Car Championship drivers here in Australia. He had a lot of success in the 1970s era of Australian touring cars. He won Bathurst in 1976 and of course in 1979. That's the car we'll be looking at today. Plus he was inducted into the V8 Supercar Hall of Fame in I think it was in 2004 or 5. So very well recognised driver here in the land of Oz. So without further ado, let's have a bit of a look at what this car did. The 1979 Australian Touring Car Championship 8-round series started in March that year, with round 1 starting at Symmons Plains Raceway with Peter Brock and Bob Morris on the front row of the grid. This would be the trend for the rest of the 1979 series, with Brock and Morris battling for points and race podiums. The Holden Tarana drivers of Morris, Brock and Brock's HDT teammate dominated the entire championship that year. Brock won 3 out of the 8 rounds that season, with Morris winning 3 rounds also, and both drivers finishing in the top 3 positions for most of the championship. But the finale of the 79 series would go down in the history books as one of the finest races of the Australian Touring Car Championship. The last race at Adelaide International Raceway, Morris regained a points advantage. The final round of the 79 championship was a classic winner-takes-all, with the Holden factory team driver Peter Brock. The two drivers went lap for lap, move for move, in a classic finish to the flag. Brock had pole position for the final round, but Morris had displayed genuine race pace, overtaking Brock on the 8th lap to take the race win and the 1979 Australian Touring Car Championship title. With a total of 69 points to Brock's tally of 62 points, this would also mark the first time a privateer team defeated a factory team in the same car of a Touring Car Championship title in Australian motorsport. The victory for Morris gave him the first championship crown and Holden's 6th Australian Touring Car Championship win. And now let's look at the model. Yes, so very much a David Goliath battle that year, very close ending to the championship for old Bobby Morris. Okay, so on to the model. So today we have an Autoart and Biante model car, and as I said in the previous episode, Autoart were making some of the Biante cars in their factory in the early 2000s, and I guess this was one of them. So moving on to the box, we have a Holden LX A9X Tarana. This is part of the 1979 Australian Touring Car Championship winner. Box detail, you've got the rendering of the model car there. On the side, just the back of the car. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. Alrighty, so I'll get this out of the box and we'll have a closer look. Alrighty, so to the certificate of authenticity. So Holden LX Tarana A9X, personally signed by Bob Morris. So that's pretty cool. Limited edition of 3000. I have 2194. So yeah, very cool. You get this signed. You also get one of these as well. You get the collectible flyer, you know, basically just information about the car. So yeah, and as I said in the last episode, these things are actually very collectible. Alrighty, so it's time to unveil this car for you, and there you go. So the Holden A9X Tarana. This car, or this Holden car, as a kid was the car I wanted when I was growing up, and don't get me wrong, I still do. Kids, my mates had pictures of Ferraris and Lamborghinis on their wall and all that, but for me, it was this car here. Even though I was born in the 80s, I can still remember this, the first time I actually seen this car. Not so much of the race car, but the actual road car. I mean, just look at the thing. It looks absolutely mean. A real nice looking race car. Again, a 1970s era Australian muscle car as well. Plus, this thing dominated the Australian Touring Car Championship for a number of years. It was a very successful car for Holden, especially with Peter Brock of the Holden dealer team of Australia. Yeah, very, very cool car. And nowadays, the actual road car, like just a normal A9X Tarana car, they're a very rare road car now, and they're very expensive. So yeah, maybe one day I'll get my hands on one, maybe, but you can only dream, I guess. But anyway, we'll start off with the front of the car as always. Alrighty, so starting off with the front, couple of cool features here. Now this badge here, it says SS. Now the A9X was an option. It was a performance enhancing option for the LX Tarana. So it was like a performance package for the actual LX Tarana. So let's have a look underneath the bonnet. Let's see if it wants to stay up. I don't think it will, but no, it doesn't stay up. Trusty come on, Mr. Toothpick here. There we go. He stays up. So the engine, you have a 308 cubic inch 5 litre V8 engine from General Motors Holden. Horsepower will produce anywhere from 300 to 500 horsepower with an overhead valve. Actually, the most noticeable thing with the Tarana, or with the A9X option, is the addition of the A9X here is the rear facing bonnet scoop. Mounted on top of the carburetor. This scoop was better for the airflow to the engine. It also increased horsepower, by a couple of hundred horsepower, but it also looks very cool on the A9X. But the other cool features here, you've got the engine hinges. This would keep the bonnet stable or closed during racing. But for the actual detail of the engine, very, very good at detail. You've got the carburetor there, all, I guess, for the radiator, the battery, very well detailed from Biante. Alrighty, so let's have a look at the side of the car now. Alright, so just the side of the A9X, couple of features here. Car 7, now this logo was part of the, I guess it was Channel 7 over here. Channel 7, I guess, sponsored by Morris for the 79 season. Paintwork, very good paintwork, decals, all in good quality. Another features here, you've got the bolt-on flared guards, very 70s style bodywork. And so you got Rod Hodgson Channel 7 Racing. So this was a privateer team here in Australia, so not a lot of backing from Holden, or not as much, I guess, financial support from Holden, not like from the Holden dealer team where that was an actual factory Holden team. And of course you've got the 2 doors, it's not a 4-door. And these were also part of the Group C rules, or Group C regulations. So General Motors Holden had to rush these cars out, or the A9X option anyway. So with Group C they had to produce a certain number of, I don't know what you could say, a certain number of cars before they could actually legally put these on the racetrack. I think that's how the Group C rules or regulations work. Yeah, they have to actually release a certain number of road going cars. So probably, I think it was a couple of hundred before they can actually go and race them on the racetrack. So yeah, So you've got the, I think they were 16 or 15 inch wheels. Brakes, I think they just had standard drum brakes. But yeah, cool looking car. Alrighty, so we'll have a look at the rear now. Alrighty, so just looking at the rear of the car. So the Holden Tarana came, or the LX Tarana came in a 4-door sedan. And I think that was called the SLR 5000, I'm pretty sure, sedan. And then there's this car here, it was just a 2-door hatchback model. So some of the details here, you've got the fuel cell. So these weren't mounted on the sides, so it was probably a bit like NASCAR where they've had the big drums, and they would tip them upside, or they would open that up, tip them upside down, and the fuel would actually go down to there. So so with the hatchback, this will actually open, so I don't think it will stay up, but it's alright. Get Mr. Toothpick out. There we go, thanks Mr. Toothpick. So there you go, you've got the fuel system there. And I don't know if you can actually see, but this all in here is actually carpet. So stock standard carpet, you've got the roll cage there, and the actual seat belt, all the racing straps. So yeah, as I said before, they would pop up that little fuel tab there, then the fuel would actually go down into the filter. And the A9X Tarana, they had a big fuel tank. As you can see it down the bottom here, it was massive. Another cool features is the actual, I wouldn't call it a wing, but it was a very mean looking wing, very 70s style. So yeah, so we'll have a look underneath the car now. Alrighty, just looking underneath, all the control arms, suspension, big exhaust, and I'll just show you the fuel tank. I mean, look at that, that's massive fuel tank. 10 bolt differential. And as always, from Biante or from Autoart, you got a decent detail underneath the car. Alrighty, so looking in the interior of the A9X, some of the features here, you can see, and again, all production line, just off the production line. Standard roll cage, bucket racing seats, racing harness. I guess this thing here was like the ignition for the engine. All in all, very well detailed. You got clutch, brake, accelerator, all the tachometers. Very well detailed. And another thing also to be careful if you're going to buy this car, or if you do have this car, be very careful of the driver's side mirror. Now these are not, to be honest, not very well put on. If you go grab the car, do not grab it by the mirror, because I've had troubles before with these model cars. I'll show you in another episode. So yeah, if you're looking at getting this car, or you do have this car, be see, look at that, be very careful. They're an easy fix. If it does end up coming off, I'd suggest just a bit of model glue or super glue, just a little bit. There is a little hole there, just put a little bit of glue on it and then you should be right. But yeah, be very careful. Alrighty guys, this is looking after the passenger side door. You got the 4-speed gearbox, or the 5-speed gearbox, I'm not quite sure. But you know, get a load of the detail from Biante. And you got all the production line glove box there, all the tachometers, leather seats. So these were very difficult cars to drive. And you think about it, you're going so fast, so many kilometres an hour, and you're in these bloody bucket leather seats. Oh, well, that's just the passenger side door anyway. They've got the racing seat on the driver's side, but in the 60s or 50s, bucket seats, and just they're either wooden seats or leather seats, and they'd actually get quite a lot of blisters on the backside. So yeah. Alright guys, I'll give my honest review about this car now and we'll wrap it up. Alrighty guys, time for my honest review about this model now. First up, the quality is unbelievable quality from Biante model cars. The paint, the decals, and the accuracy all very good, high standards. Again, detail, got a very well detailed engine, interior, the rear of the car with the fuel cell, even underneath the car. You get all opening doors and parts that the model offers. Goods, you get a very well detailed model car, a signed certificate personally signed by Bob Morris. You also get the collectible flyer. So for me, all in all, very good. Bads, I'm yet to actually find some bads on this car. The only thing I would say is, look, the actual driver side mirrors, they're not very stable. As I said, be very careful if you're getting these cars or you do have this car. Be very mindful of the mirrors. As always, some of the bonnets don't stay up with the Biante cars, some of them do. But other than that, not a lot of bads. Not a lot of bads. How rare is the car? It's a rare one, folks. Especially if you're collecting a Australian Touring Car Championship winner car. This is definitely a part of the collection. I think as well, just for what it did. I mean, the team was a privateer Holden team up against the factory-backed Holden team. It did a lot. It achieved a lot. So yeah, I'd say it was a rare car. Price, I think back in 2006 I paid around the $190 mark from my local hobby dealer. The car was released back in September of 2000 or 2006, I think. Yeah, no, it would have been 2006. So yeah, it's not a very old model. Still has a lot of life left in it if you look after them. But with the price, that number has risen over the years. These things are going for an asking price of anywhere between $400 and $500. So, if you're looking at getting this model car, you're going to be handing over a lot of hard-earned dollars. So, yeah, that brings me to eBay price. Yeah, like I said, there's a couple on eBay at the moment. They're going between $400 and $500. So if you're looking at getting this car off eBay, make sure you're getting a car that's in good condition. Like I said, make sure that all the mirrors are attached and you're getting all the certificates and the flyers. And yeah, just when you buy stuff, and especially die-cast model cars, just make sure you're always getting what the car comes with. Always ask questions about, has it got any defects? Because you don't want to, especially with Bathurst cars as well. I've brought Bathurst cars and they say, in good condition, but in reality they're not. They've got little defect marks. Just with Bathurst winners or Australian Touring Car Championship winners, make sure you know what you're getting, because sometimes you can get ripped off on eBay. Rating, I would give this car a solid 10 out of 10. Very good detail, accuracy, just all in all, a fantastic model car from Biante. So if you're a Holden collector or just a Australian Touring Car Championship winners collector, I would definitely recommend this car for your collection. Car to compare it to? No. The other model car companies haven't made this type of model car here in Australia at the moment. Biante are the only model car company that actually make this model of Holden Tarana cars. The only model car company I can see is making it as classic car collectibles. They have a few other Holden Tarana cars like the XU1 Tarana and the SLR 5000. So it's just a matter of time before they release, I guess, this model of Holden car, the 09X. I know for a fact they have a Peter Brock collection. So, like I said, it's just a matter of time before they release these cars. And speaking of time, folks, that's it for episode 6 today. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I said before in the start of the video, thank you to everyone that has subscribed to the channel. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying what I'm trying to put out there about these cars. And I hope you're just enjoying the actual show. So yeah, thank you very much. And as always, like, subscribe and share. and I'll catch you around for another episode of Aussie Diecast Reviews. So catch you around.